Welcome to Leadership Energetics. I am very excited because today's video I'm going to share with you the beauty of self-fulfilling prophecy. Meaning when you truly prophesize, and I mean you truly believe and you cast this vision into your future and you have unwavering faith that will happen, it is called a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a prophecy you're creating yourself. It's a vision you are leading yourself with. And so that's why your expectations, your assumptions, and maybe even your fears should never go unchecked. So the positive of that is that you can consciously create positive expectations, positive assumptions, and turning fears into solutions and plans and proactiveness. So ultimately, when it comes to understanding that you are constantly prophesizing not only for yourself but for other people through your thoughts, through your intentions and your tones and your attitude. That means like if you look at somebody and you expect them to show up a certain way because you've created a story and a narrative of who this person is in your head, they kind of like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're going to act in subtle, subconscious ways that are going to attract that from that person. Whether it's immediate or long term, it will, because we're constantly co-creating our reality with one another, because we are all massive manifestors. We are all able to create our own reality. We're all creating our dream life. So when you are meeting people and having conversation, you're not only having a conversation, you're co-creating a reality. And so when you become conscious that you are co-creating a reality, you're no longer just in autopilot. You're not having life happen to you. You're not just experiencing life. You're the one that is creating the experience of life, because you're realizing you are the author. You are the person who is writing your story. And so when you realize every single time you believe something, like truly have faith in something, faith is one of it's such a high positive vibration and energy. Faith is something that moves mountains, parts seas, literally, and turns water into wine. Faith is powerful. Faith is so powerful. Faith is kind of the thing that quantumly shifts you in this matrix, because it's not even, faith is another level to belief. Belief is just, I believe this. I tell myself this is true, I believe this. Faith is, I don't have evidence, but I know this is true. And that is such a powerful energy that quite literally creates miracles. And that is the thing, when you realize leadership energetics is about consciously bringing back to the awareness that you are powerful and you are the one that is in the driver's seat of your life and you are the one that is creating your life. It is not happening to you. It is not only happening for you. It is happening through you, through your beingness and through your thoughts and through your emotions. Your beingness is this essence that is beyond your thoughts and beyond your emotions. It is the thing that exists if you just had no thoughts and no emotion. The thing that is just being, your beingness. And then when we have our emotions, which is the thing that creates our vibration, it creates our magnetism, it creates the feelings we have. And then we have our thoughts, which create the projection of the template we live in. Eventually can create physical manifestations, but starts as a spiritual feeling first. It starts as an atmosphere, a vibe, and then it builds momentum, and hence can be creation. So ultimately, that is the beauty. We are creators. And I think I was looking at a lot of quotes and it says, if you're depressed, it's because you're consuming a lot. You got to go and create. And it's so true, because we are creators at our core. We literally birth lives as humans. We create babies. That is literally creation on steroids. Creating a literal living human form through our own human form. That is what our life force, our sexual energy is for. It's for creation, not only through sex, but through beautiful things like life, through painting, through cooking, through conversations, through everything else is a form of creation. Everything you do is a form of creation. Therefore, when you are able to realize that creation is a feedback loop with consumption. You consume the lights around you, the feelings around you, the energies around you, the content around you, the news around you, the people, the experiences, everything. And through that, you then transmute it, and create something. So there is no such thing as like, you're constantly like a feedback loop with reality. You receive and then you transform, and reality is feedback looping you. So what basically every single moment, every expectation is kind of like a feedback loop. So it's kind of like, okay, so I'm thinking this, reality is reflecting that. I think this and reality reflects that, then I think this and reality reflects that. Reality and people are looking at you. Like, they're looking at you. They're looking at you. They're looking at you to tell the world who you are. And I think sometimes we can get so stuck in our head, our anxieties, our stresses, we think the world is like, we need to look at the world like, tell me who I am, tell me what I want, tell me what I should do, so normal, so human. But also not very smart, because the world is quite literally looking at you for you to tell it who you are, what you want, and what's going to happen. And that's when you start getting into a leadership mindset, because you're no longer looking for an outside authority, somebody to tell you what to do. You're realizing there is no such thing as authority, it's an illusion. And when you start to truly get that and grasp that in a deep concept, you then really realize how you are your own authority. And that is when your leadership starts to sky freaking rocket. But I also think the most beautiful thing about leadership in general is the understanding that every single freaking emotion, I mean anger, annoyance, stress, please do not suppress it. One of the best leaders I've worked with, I remember when I was just starting in my leadership journey and I was working as a supervisor and I had this manager, I mean, she got furious with a person one day at work. And I just thought, fair play to her. Because I remember thinking, she spoke her mind, she was assertive, and she actually allowed her a moment. And I really appreciate that, because the thing is, leadership isn't about being a nice, good person. Leadership is really somebody's potential so they can